Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and today we are talking about Vegas's victory over the Dallas Stars, pushing them on to the finals of the Stanley Cup playoffs for the second time in their 6-year existence, where they will face off against the Florida Panthers. But that's for another video. Right now is their victory over the Dallas Stars and this series as a whole, and this series comes to an end last night with a 6-0 victory over the Dallas Stars. It was a pitiful, that's not the right word. This was a disastrous, this was a horrifyingly terrible end to your season. I'm far from being the biggest Dallas fan in the world. I like Dallas. I'd say they're probably in my top 10 of favorite teams, but by no means are they my favorite. But I was cheering for them. I like Vegas too. I'm not the biggest hater of Vegas in the world. They're not. I would say I like Dallas more. But Vegas, they got a place in my heart. I got to see the expansion. I got to it was part of when I started really waking up to liking hockey is when they were kind of coming around. So I've kind of when they existed was kind of when I was really delving into liking hockey. And for Vegas, it's super cool for me to have now seen both the times they're going to make it into the finals. Watching them and their entire existence is pretty cool. But this defeat over the Dallas Stars was just so sad to watch, because I could not imagine being a true Dallas Stars fan in the crowd. And I love that they show the cameras angles of all the sad Dallas fans. I love it when any of the series end, they show the fans in the crowd and they're just or it's always such a different expression, right? So some of them are crying, some of them are just in disbelief, just sitting there with their eyes just staring. Some of them are just going like this or whatever, There's always a different reaction on everyone's face. You're either a crier, you're an angry, you're just distraught, someone's just disappointed. It's always so funny for them to show. And this was such a bad way to go out for the Dallas Stars. For one, yes, Vegas was in their element tonight, right? They played their game, and their game's amazing, but I'll talk about that in 1 second. For Dallas, though, Vegas was very good tonight, but Dallas, you were making the moment. You were making the history happen. Down 3-0, Vegas, we've seen them in the past blow up their leads, right? We know they can do it, and we know that Dallas can beat the Golden Knights in past history, in recent history, really, and playoff history, and this current year. And the last 2 games, we know Dallas is a good team. They went to war with the Minnesota Wild. They went to hell with the Seattle Kraken. And they went through all that. And in this game, they were just lazy. They looked exhausted and tired. They looked like they had no motivation. They looked like they just didn't care anymore. And I think that's really the end of the day, all that you can sum this down to. And this whole series for Vegas, really. Because even in the beginning, I know Game 1 went to overtime. But that just went to show you, the strengths of Dallas. And that they can score even when they're not the better team. But then as the series went on, Vegas is a very good defensive team. And those chances just didn't arise. And in Game 3 till now, I would say Dallas, I know they won the last 2 games, but really Vegas, I think, kind of just shut down themselves. And it was it was like watching 2 pretty bad teams play against each other. I've talked all about both games on this channel, so if you care for a whole breakdown, go watch that. But neither team impressed me the last 2 games. And in this game, it's just so bizarre, because you get your captain back, you're home in Dallas, you've won the last 2 games in the conference finals. You've got guys like Sagan, guys like Joe Pavelski and Ryan Suter, who are trying to win that Stanley Cup for the first time. And even guys like Radek Faksa, right? I guess he's not that old, but just these guys who are looking for that opportunity. This whole team in general, Robertson's hell of a year, Rupe Hintz being a superstar in the playoffs. And just where did it all go? There was no passion. There was no care. If I was put on the ice, sure, I'd just get run over and be killed every time. But if I got an opportunity to skate with the puck, I would do the craziest thing in the world. I'd try to do a spinorama. Sure, I'd be knocked out and I'd probably get a concussion 5 times over again. And I'd probably get paralyzed or something. But I would try my hardest to do something And this Dallas team getting paid this millions of dollars, just not caring. And it was just so hard to watch because it's like, really? Like, this is your moment. You can make history, tie up the series, go to game 7 in the conference finals, make this crazy historic comeback. 5th time ever a team is reverse sweeped. And they just didn't care. They looked dead, they looked tired, and they just rolled over and died, really. I mean, that's really it. And for Vegas, this was, as much as, Dallas was horrible, but Vegas was incredible tonight. They finally played their game. This game was the epitome of an example of why Vegas is going to the Stanley Cup Finals and why they're in this position, because they have such a good structure. For some teams, I say like Colorado last season winning the Stanley Cup, it starts, I would say, from the defense forward. And with them, it's different. Because with their defense in Colorado, their defense is that they're very offensive. So it's Cale Makar or Gerard, even guy like Manson. They get the puck, and they will turn it around up the ice real quick. They get their stick on. If they get the puck in their defensive zone, they're out of the zone immediately. Breakout passes, or they can skate it up themselves. It doesn't matter who it is. And they've got such talented forwards that they can get the puck. If anyone gets it, it's out of the zone, and they will pass and cycle and wash, rinse, and repeat on the other team and shove it down their throat. With Vegas, it's a different style. With Vegas, they have such good shutdown defense. In the first period, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was at like 8 minutes left of the first period. Offensive zone time was already like 5 minutes for the Golden Knights, and it was like 42 seconds or something for the Dallas Stars. That was 12 minutes into the first period. And I know that's like, well, that's because they're very offensive. But no, think about it. That is a team having the puck, controlling the play. Dallas would get the puck, go down the ice. But Vegas, they had so many more blocks than them. I think it was like, 27 to like 13. I'm sure that's completely way off. But Vegas, we know they're a shot blocking machine, but they block shots. They shut down every single opportunity the other team gets, and they get the puck out of the zone. And they've got such good depth when it shows up. These last few games that they've played, not really showing up, but this is the team that needs, and that's what I'm going to be scared of for them. I'll talk about that in a second. But the depth showed up tonight. Every single line was kicking, and they highlighted it so many times. The first goal that they scored, yes, it was a defensive mistake by Johnston not to grab the puck after the puck comes out to him. He doesn't get it, and Carrier gets it, or Waugh, was it? Which one? Doesn't matter. One of them just gets it, shovels it in the back of the net on the backhand, and scores the first goal, right? But that's the thing. But here's the thing that the commentators don't always bring up, is that, yes, it was a defensive mistake by the other team, but that's because Vegas was shoving the puck in the other throat of the zone of the Dallas Stars. Dallas had to deal with them. They were cycling over and over again. Dallas finally got the puck, turned it around, but they made a mistake, and that's because after such hard playing, Johnston finally, the Golden Knights forced them to make a mistake. And those type of mistakes, people think NHL players are perfect people. They're not. They make mistakes every single play, but sometimes bigger ones than others. And Johnston doesn't get the pass or the puck coming loose, and Carrier shovels it in the back of the net. And that's what this kind of whole game was for the Vegas Golden Knights. Them making the Dallas Stars the Dallas Stars were absolutely terrible, but Vegas making them just look bad, look sloppy, with slow plays, being very passive, and Vegas just cycling the puck, shooting it on net, and getting the goals. And just I don't want to say like easy goals, but there's a type of goals that, like, if you ever play NHL online or something like that, and you go up against a random person and they're not very good, those are the type of goals you score, where you skate down the ice and you don't do anything fancy. You just make one little, maybe you make one deke or something, and you can just drive the net and shoot it in, right? That was what was going on here. But that's because the Golden Knights, what I really like that they do is that their goal isn't really to get as many shots as they can get. Their goal is to not allow the other team to get a shot, while also having the added benefit that you can kind of relate them to, like the New York Islanders, where it's like really good defense. The difference is the Vegas actually's got Mark Stone and Jack Eichel and Marcia So and William Karlsson, where over in the Islanders, they don't have a lot of goal scorers, right? They really don't have any offense going for them, which is their biggest issue. Now, their defense is great, but with Vegas, they've got that spice, that extra touch, that topping. It's like a pizza, right? The breading is all pure great defense, and they are topped off with amazing offensive guys. Now, going forward for them, though, this is what scares me, is that they almost did blow this series by looking pretty lackadaisical going forward, as they will going up against the Florida Panthers, a team that has been continuously, whether they've been pushed to the edge to Game 7 against Boston, dominated the Maple Leafs, or even looked worse and still beat and looked competent against the Hurricanes in a sweep. They're going into this series looking absolutely fantastic and well-rested, and now Vegas goes into it looking kind of sloppy in that conference final, and finally getting a good game to finish off the series. But that depth, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be scary. I'm going to make a video for the series preview, obviously. That's going to be something I do. But going into it, I'm kind of worried for Vegas. Because if Vegas can play this shutdown hockey against the Florida Panthers, I think they can win this series. The issue is that they've been very inconsistent. They've been very inconsistent with how their play has gone, how good they've been consistently through the playoffs. And a team like the Florida Panthers, they were the worst team between their Hurricanes and Florida except Game 4. And they still swept them in that series. With Vegas, they've got to play a top-notch game against the Florida Panthers. They have to have all the block shots. They have to somehow shut down all the offensive opportunities, go down the other end of the ice with guys like Jack Eichel, and hope that the depth shows up, because Florida's defense and especially goaltending has been incredible. So going forward, I'm worried about that. I'm going to talk about all that in another video. But for this one right now, Vegas wins in what should have been a sweep, but then they spoiled it. But then finished the deal in Game 6 with a 6-0 victory over an abysmal Dallas Stars. And that's how the cookie crumbles in the conference finals. And they didn't touch the cup, so it's like, is the superstition real or is it not real? I don't think it exists either way. I don't think it matters if you touch it, but they didn't touch it, so I'm sure if Vegas wins, people will be like, there's a curse, and if Florida wins, there isn't a curse. I don't think there is one anyways. I don't think it matters. So that's all I've got to say, and thank you for watching this. If you made it this far, please, I'm begging you. I'm only one subscriber away from making it to 200, so please, just subscribe. Just please, I'm begging you. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.